it's going to be around 6 billion. Also, do you think our population will keep on growing? If so, why? If not, why? What some limiting factors to human population growth? Now, they already have learned the word limiting factors, which are some of the reasons that limits, the growth of particular species. Could be food or limiting space. What some limiting factors to fruit flies population's growth? And students again will share the findings in a group. Last but not least, they will again observe and record the number of fruit flies in the bottle and on the logbook and Microsoft Excel. Day 6, students will observe and record the number of fruit flies in the bottle on the logbook and Microsoft Excel. They will finalize the data and create exponential growth and exponential decay graph using Microsoft Excel, as you can see right here. They also group together to interpret the data. So what does it mean having the number of days that yields a high number of fruit flies, but eventually just kind of leveled off flat? I mean, what does that mean? Day 7, they will use the graph to create a PowerPoint presentation, and they're starting to discuss and prepare their presentation for whole class. Finally, day 8 and 9, we're going to have 2 days for students to present their PowerPoint presentation to the whole class. They're going to present their findings. This is when I actually will grade them on their work. Okay, so that was my unit series. Hopefully you enjoy that. But what are some of my defenses for making such changes? Why do I think it works? Well, if you take a look at how I integrated my unit series, you probably notice I use different teaching styles in this whole unit. There are verbal ones, interpersonal, visual, and kinesthetic. For instance, the verbal one will be the one where students get to actually discuss within their groups and get to read about the life cycle of fruit flies, and they get to actually read about these vocabulary that is related in the lesson. Interpersonal, because they get to actually figure out and think about what is going on in this unit, the purpose of it by themselves. And interpersonal, because they get to discuss this with their groups almost every day. Visually, because having students to draw those graphs helps them to make connections visually to what is going on with those data compared to an actual concrete picture. Kinesthetic, because they get to actually build something on their own with their own bare hands. Also, notice I call on every student in this unit series because there are a lot of chance for classroom discussions and group discussions. I will have chance to call on volunteers and non-volunteers. And since every group, students have to share from every group, so there'll be a lot of popcorn sharings. And very important is more group activities. It seems to me that I notice a significant number of students learn better when they're broken into groups. I think they can learn better when they get to discuss the subject matters. They learn with with their same level peers rather than an authoritative teacher. So I'm going to make sure they have more chance to work in groups, group projects. And when they do work in project, it seems to make more sense to them. They seem to internalize a lot of the learnings in long-term memory. Okay. All right. So I will now discuss my rationales. Why am I going to reform the curriculums to integrate all 3 subjects: technology, mathematics, and science? Okay. So why am I doing this? Well, inspired by an article I read by Ron Shater, titled "Help STEM," that's Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. It's a popular organization to take roots in school districts ramp up science, technology, engineering, math curriculums. See, I want to create this interdisciplinary curriculum that collapses all three subjects, just so it can utilize the 21st century major changes, which is the 21st century skills is becoming more project based, more storyline approach, and technology based approach. So why project based approach? It's actually much easier to have students to own and learn the material when they can just focus on one particular project than many different objectives. A lot of times when you give them too much, they actually end up not learning anything. So I believe less is more. Okay. Why storyline approach? I believe storyline approach will actually help because students are more interested when they get to choose and discuss topics that relates to them, such as the war that's happening in Afghanistan right now, maybe alternative energy for cars. It's going to make more sense, and they're going to care more than a dry and boring lessons they're learning from the book. And as they're doing that in the storyline approach, they will utilize 21st century skills such as collaboration, communication, problem solving, creativity, and critical thinking. Last but not least, technology-based approach. Because we do live in the 21st century, technology is everywhere. So to utilize technology within all the subjects, science and math, that allows students to be more comfortable using technologies to what they're learning. And of course, since students are so savvy with technology nowadays, they're going to able to make more connections with science and math to their modern world. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Hope you enjoyed.